All right. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another exciting AIME Community Pulse, where we, the leadership of AIME, give our members the announcements, updates, content they need to, let's be honest here, level up their business and close more loans. Today, we got a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about exciting new partnerships and benefits. We got updates for Fuse, the WMN event at Fuse, and this year's Hall of AIME. So we got a lot going on here. But do me a favor, as we are going through this, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll answer them at the end of live. Actually, John's going to answer them at the end of live. So, no, we're very excited that everyone could join us today. Lots to cover, but you know what? I know we're all super busy. We'll get through it, but I'm telling you, all this information is super beneficial to all of you. So first off, I want to introduce our loved CEO and chairman, Jonathon Haddad. John, thanks for joining us. I know you put a lot of time and effort into this, and always excited to see what you have to say.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. We made our way into Originator Connect last week, and that's new for us when it comes to AIME. So I'll give you guys some updates on that and how that went, and just really propelling ourselves forward, just staying in front of people, traveling, but being very specific in where we travel to, and just making sure we're providing as much value back to the community as we can. But today, I'm going to go through many things with y'all. I am excited to walk through today's session with all of you. I think one of the big things for me is I do get to spend a lot of time in the trenches. I'm in sales. I'm leading every single day. I'm talking to clients every day. I'm originating every day. And so today I'm excited to walk you through variable income, but I'm going to get very granular with you on a specific loan that we actually, the underwriter saw our side. And I want to walk through how we did it, because I'm sure there are loans that you've had before that have been denied out for variable. In the back of your head, you might have thought, okay, I feel like there was a way to make this work. How can I fix this moving forward so you don't have to deal with that stress and that anxiety? So I'm excited to share that with you. Marc is going to go through many of the updates that we have when it comes to Fuse, all the events, all the vendors, things that we've completely updated and continue to push forward at AIME. Then we have the legendary Julie Yarbrough, who is just a force of nature and dedicating her time to this place. She does this for free, and she's poured her heart and soul into this just to see what she's done and what she's helped us do when it comes to WMN, pushing us forward. We're very excited to give you some of those updates for our ladies out there. Last year at Fuse, I remember walking in after, we had the hurricane warning, and a lot of people had a bunch of things going on, obviously, with the hurricane warning. So we had to make adjustments. And I walked in to the hotel venue and I said, all right, here we go. People are going to be excited to see me. And instead, I saw a lot of our ladies just talking about WMN, just their passion. Their at the time, they were so disappointed, and they understood. Everyone was so cool about it because of the hurricane. But just to see their heart and souls, and how many of our women in this industry came specifically for that. And it showcased the immense value that this organization has, especially when it comes to WMN. So to have Julie talk about that will be a big deal. And then Cindy Ertman, you guys are going to absolutely love this legend. She is a incredible soul, very genuine, loves what she does, has been a top producer. I'll let Julie do the introduction when the time comes, so I don't want to steal that thunder. But Sydney is a high-level coach, works with some of the most elite of elite, not just loan officers, but business professionals. She puts on some of the best venues when it comes to personal growth and personal development. So we're very excited to have her and communicate to the group on what it takes to get to that next level. So with that being said, we got a couple of updates, my friend, some membership updates here. I'll go through some of the vendor updates, Marc, and then if you want to handle some of the lender partners.
Have it.
Okay, so we've already talked about this before, but loan sites, very, very simple. Please take a look. We're going to drop the link inside of the group. Tommy, thank you, the man behind the camera. And by the way, Broker Power Up, he's the man in front of the camera for those situations. We got Key Steps by FinLocker, an amazing client engagement tool. That's a huge ordeal, especially with the trigger bill passing. You're going to want to continue to maintain and stay in front of your clients. We don't exactly know what's going to happen next from the data perspective, how you can actually monitor your clients. That'll all unfold. But in the meantime, get proactive and stay in front of them. Next one, High Level for mortgage pros. If you're using High Level, if you're using a CRM that's built on High Level, all this organization is built to do is to help you make your High Level incredibly effective. Lots of great feedback from this organization, lots of great people behind the scenes helping this organization press forward, and lots of our community is leveraging the high level platform. So you might as well know how to do it from the pros that know how to handle it behind the scenes. And then our loan training team. This is a big ordeal, training for teams, newer individuals on how to deliver a great client experience. You might, John, I can just figure it out. Just skip the line. Skip the line. I think one of the biggest things is what you want as a leader. For me, I have somebody that's built to take my role on, and she's amazing. And what I tell her all the time is this: it took me 13 years to get to this spot. My job is to get you there in half the time. Your job is to get the next person you coach there in half your time. That's what this allows you to do, is skip the line. Don't make the mistakes that a lot of us, all of us, myself included, make early on when it comes into the mortgage process. So take a look at, you can see all of these in the member portal as well when you log into that. And then another thing, our membership is skyrocketing. Thank y'all so much. I'll dive into numbers here in a bit, but to watch the community rally together and dive into this and really start pouring their hearts and souls, and you're giving us your hard-earned dollars. Money that is food. It's money that, you're basically sending to us, and you're saying, hey, we love what you're doing. Keep helping us press forward. We don't take it lightly. Membership is skyrocketing. We're excited to share a lot of that. Lender partners, Mr. Summers, back to you.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to bring you in on this one too, because some of these lender partners that we have, let's just be honest here, not every loan goes to one lender or two lenders or three lenders. You really have to broaden your horizons out there and really look at other lenders out there and what they can do, deals that they have, and all these that we talk about. You can connect with all of them in your member portal. It's important to connect with them. The leadership from all of our lenders has been absolutely amazing, really supportive of what we do and what we're trying to do. So first one I want to talk about is Loan Store. Loan Store, they've been great, really got the deal done quick. I'm telling you, just go take a look at the Loan Store, talk to them. They're absolutely phenomenal. They do things maybe for a specific area or a specific loan that you like, so check them out. And the other exciting one is Sierra Pacific, is an AIME lender partner, and this is huge, a sponsor of our VIP brunch at Fuse. So our guy Tommy here, Sierra Pacific, has been absolutely amazing. Thanks to the team for going through the negotiation, but really kind of a simple negotiation. They see what we're doing and they want to be a part of it. And Tommy, our guy here, is going to drop all these links in there. But the last one I want to talk about is NewRez. And John, this is where I'm going to bring you back in, because this was a big win, and you were the key focus point on this win. But NewRez has some great benefits for AIME members, something no one has done before, but they are a lender partner. They're absolutely crushing it right now. So you got to check them out. But John, what I would love for you to do, if you could take a minute and walk us through kind of the steps that you took, because I know you flew out there and you sealed the deal. And I know some of the other team members, I don't want to forget them, but please tell us what NewRez is doing for us and how you work that out.
Yeah, it's a big ordeal, and as much as I would love to take credit and all that, a lot of what was done behind the scenes was done by our lender team, and that is Kenneth Travis and Jen Wilson, who have been working around the clock to get a lot of these partnerships off the ground. So they set the framework, and they said, "Hey, John, it's ready for you. Oh, you want to take a look at it?" So yes, I was ready for it, and as I took a look at it, it was just beautiful. And NewRez has the NewRez Club. My personal organization, we're in that Res Club, and there are certain features and things that you get. And so NewRez already had that. And we said, hey, what would you do for our payday members? And believe it or not, NewRez, it was really cool, man. NewRez came back, and NewRez said, you know what? Let us take the con on this. We want to just rebuild all of it. And NewRez did that. NewRez took it back. And NewRez sat down with their attorneys, with their legal team, with their leadership team. We just gave them guidance on what we would love to see, and they over-delivered on it. We were asking for a couple small things. Awesome. They've set the tone to what our expectations are going to be for lenders moving forward, and we are unbelievably excited. And part of it was them really considering things like the trigger bill. What could it mean? And we don't know all of the ins and outs and the intricacies of it, but to have that additional protection just for being a paid AIME member is a big deal. If you don't know what they are, log into the portal, double check. If you're not signed up, it is absolutely worth it. Ask yourself why. So few benefit updates. And then Marc, I'm gonna have you take over the Fuse, my friend. and kind of walk through that if you don't
You
mind.
sure you don't want to do Fuse, John? I think I'm more for the benefit
All right,
spotlight,
take it.
but
Take the benefits. I'll take Fuse. Wanted to give you wanted
because
to let you dive into some of the updates we have for Fuse, but I'll handle it.
I can do whatever you want me to do, my man. But I would love to cover this one because the first time I ever met Gina Waribi, I hope I'm saying your name right, but the first time I ever met Gina, she came to me, and this is back in Vegas at Fuse. And you need you need a processor membership. And she has been diligent. She has been on me about it. But then, what our great AIME team decided to do is make Gina and Heather Dubois, chair people of the processing committee. And listen, they did it. You now have a specific pricing and benefit structure for processors. So it's absolutely awesome. Everything was always geared towards the loan officer, geared towards the broker owner. You know what I mean? And we're going to drop the link here so you can check it out. But now we have a strict benefit for processors, right? So it all makes sense. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Gina and Heather. They really knocked it out of the park on this one. And I'm glad it's here. It's been a long time coming, but you know what? They worked hard on it. They worked with our team extremely hard, and now we have our processor memberships. So, John, I'm going to give it back to you on this one because I know you were just talking about the paid membership and some numbers that we have here. I know you're really excited about it, and I'm excited about it too, but why don't you just give them some stats here?
Yeah, for the first time ever, our full-time paid membership has crossed. It's over 1,000 people, and today we just sent an additional invoice for 21 additional memberships. Today, this thing is growing. We are at a place to where we're getting close to double digits on a weekly basis, and so it's whenever you build something, it's not easy. It's hard, and all of you know that. You're writing loans, you're processing, whatever the case might be. Building something takes time. It takes consistency, showing up every day, having a process, and we have worked on it. And there's always going to be people that don't like it. And what you're going to learn as you're building your systems, your companies, your personal life, your business life, you're going to learn that as you build things, people aren't always going to like it, and that's okay. What you do is you make the decision that you believe is best. You talk with the people around you that you believe have the best interest inside of the situation for you and your family, whatever it might be. And then from there, you put together a plan that you believe is going to work best. And that's exactly what we did. And our community is responding at an incredibly high clip. And we are grateful, especially considering how we got launched initially. So yes, it is a big deal. If you do have questions or you want to log into the portal or you're even more and more curious about it, we're getting more and more members on a weekly and daily basis. Reach out to broker membership at aimegroup.com or head to your AMP portal to get these exclusive rates and all of these different things that we have. With that being said,
and membership's cheap. Let's just talk about this here. You know what I mean? You can get in for $19 a month. Some people's Netflix or Hulu subscriptions are more than that. I just found out I had 3 Netflix subscriptions. You know what I mean? So it's really simple just to buy into this. You're investing into yourself. That's what I always say every time I go speak at Success Track. You're investing into yourself and lean on our membership team. They will be there to help and guide you through what membership level is best for you. So a lot of people that are on this video right now, or call, I should say, whatever you want to say, this meeting, a lot of you guys are members. Just do us a favor and spread the word out there to get your AIME membership. All it's going to allow us to do is do better things for you guys.
That is spot on, my friend. I appreciate you, Marc. And that even the trainings that we do, the little tips that we do, it'll be a big deal. And as you start to see more and more unfold here very soon, you'll love why. Fuse, y'all, a couple updates here. Very exciting updates. So special VIP members only brunch with me on Thursday, October 23rd in Damon West. Damon West, if you don't know, look up this guy's journey. You are not going to want to miss it. His story, his background, it's insane just to see how he came back, how he changed his life. And he's here to just spread the love and spread the message. This is exclusive for our VIP members directly. So if you're looking and interested for that, get a VIP ticket in order for you to be part of this process. Thursday afternoon is the WMN event. Julie Yarbrough will be on here very soon, and she's going to talk to you about all the cool things that we have coming your way for the WMN. This is a big win. For the first time, we've been working on this process, and last year we weren't able to execute on it, but this year we did it. We executed on a process for our breakout rooms. We had 22 spots available, 22. And we wanted to get people to submit. And we said, hey, you got to submit by this date. If you don't, it is what it is. It is what it is. And we've never had that before. And I know as loan originators, sometimes procrastination is something we're pretty good at. Yes, Marc, believe it or not. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that email real quick. Yeah, I'll upload that document in a second. We've all been there. We've all done it. So just to see the amount of execution was crazy. However, I will say that it took a lot of time because all of you uploaded PowerPoints. So we divided and conquered. There was a few of us that it was a Sunday that we sat down, and some of these people are volunteers. They make $0 doing it, and they took a Sunday out of their time with their friends, their family, their personal life, alongside myself. I'll say that I got 3 young babies at home and my wife. So it's important that you're always staying in front of people, but we went through all 62 and went through PowerPoint by PowerPoint clicking. It took us many hours, and we ended up picking the 22. It was hard. We boiled it down to about 28, I believe, or 29. And so we had to start going backwards and just, hey, what do we believe is best? What do we believe? Why do we believe it? So really difficult process. We are excited. It's never easy to be part of this, but we are very excited to see how many people filled this out. We look forward to making this a consistent effort every single year. So if you didn't get picked, that's all right. Please be on the lookout for next year. You'll have another opportunity. And if you want feedback, maybe you're like, John, why didn't I get picked? Or what's going on? We'd love to see if we can have a conversation. It won't be fast. We're all very, very busy. But if you're really genuinely curious and you want to know, would love to sit down with you and have that conversation. Last but not least, we got some fun updates for speakers on main stage. We have not announced all of our guest speakers. You have seen some of them. There are many more to get announced. So be on the lookout for those every single step of the way. Here's one for you. Exhibit hall. We are this close to being sold out. Yes, you heard it right. The earliest potential sellout we have ever had. We aren't there just yet, but I believe, Marc, it's less. I think it's less than what I can count on my hand for my understanding.
Yeah, correct.
So it's less than what I can count on my hand. I think it's 3 or maybe 4 at the tops. But once this is gone, this is gone. So if you have vendors, if you have people that want the exhibit hall, just please make sure you get them in front of our team so we can have the conversations with them, because we believe this will be done here by September 1 is our expectation, just based off the list that we have. So be on the lookout for it. Once it's sold out, we will let the community know. In the meantime, send what you can for those that are going to be there.
And our exhibit hall is way different,
it's insane.
And that's what I want to get across to people. Like, sometimes these exhibit halls are like the American Express people at the airport that are like, here. That's not what it is. You are going to get to have conversations with the CEOs, the presidents of these companies, and really have that one-on-one connection with them. So if you do need them, it's not just an email that you send out. It's literally, it is a relationship. And our exhibit hall, we want people in it. We want it packed, except for when people are speaking, you know what I mean? But we want people in there to really dive into our partners that are really, truly helping us push our message out there.
You're spot on, man. And this exhibit hall is going to blow your mind. It is what it is. I know I can talk about it, but once you start seeing what we're setting up, the games that we have, the fun little events that we have, it'll, let's just say that if anybody wants some smoke in Mario Kart, I will be there.
That's okay. My game.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, this isn't like N64 Mario Kart. All right. This is going to be new age Mario Kart, Marc. So you might not know the controls. All right. That's all.
I may not talk as much crap right now.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll wait, but we'll see who's up for the challenge. And then last but not least, y'all, HOA update. We are going to host our Hall of AIME event on Saturday, and this is going to be a Halloween event. So costume party, my friends. Costume. This is invite only. Please make sure, if you are supposed to be there and you think you are, you need to reach out to our team. If you don't have a ticket, you cannot come in. We sold out last year. We had no more room for anybody else to enter the space. It's going to be the same thing this year already. There's awards that we're giving out. There's a criteria for the awards that we launched last year. If you don't know, look them up, and brokers are best. Just type in Hall of AIME. You'll see the categories, how you can win an award, and how you can basically just propel yourself forward. You will see my costume soon. I'm doing a video for all of you to promote Fuse and Hall of AIME, so you guys are going to love it. With that being said, this is going to be a fantastic way for us to really bring down Fuse, is close it out with a Halloween Hall of Fame party that you guys are going to love. Now, we nailed the timing. Tommy, I have your notes on here. 5 minutes for the intro, 10 minutes. Oh, I'm a little over, actually.
We're a little
Sorry,
over. Hey, don't bring that up. Don't bring that. We're
you
fine.
know what?
We're
I
good.
was excited to talk trash, and here I am actually missing it. So that's what happens, y'all. It's very important you pay attention. Very important you understand timing and what's happening around you. So being several minutes behind, I apologize. But without further ado here, I'm going to bring somebody who she has shaped the way that I understand people. She has shaped the way I understand business. She has shaped the way I communicate with those around me, whether it's male or female. And this is somebody who I've grown an incredible relationship with. This is somebody who pours her heart and soul into everything that she does. She gives her time for free, and she gives a lot of her time. She gives weekends. She gives mornings, whether it's a 6 a.m. call. We said we need help with WMN. She said, okay. We said, can you help us fix this? And we don't have a budget for this. She said, no problem. We said, can you be a sponsor and help us actually give some money? She said, no problem. We said, can you have some tough conversations for us? She said, no problem. Every time we ask, she says, no problem. Now, she does it with this smile on her face, and she has an infectious laugh that when you know it comes around, you know that it means she's ready for business and she's ready to just move forward. Without further ado, somebody we all love who's been in the industry and has shaped her company, her organization, and is one of the top performers in our space. Please welcome Miss Julie Yarbrough to the stage.
I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. It's been a week.
Yes,
woo,
ma'am.
woo. My company got one for the record books this week. So that work that you just talked about is in full effect, and I feel it right now. Thank you. Our relationship's a blessing to me, John, and I met you years ago. And little did I know from walking up on stage together that we would be in this relationship today. And I appreciate your candor and your honor, and I learn from you daily. So there is that. You know, we all step in things, right? But it's how we regroup and recover, and how quickly we can get back to center. And with this relationship, I just want you to know you helped me get back to center so quick. So appreciate that. There's some vulnerable moments. Hi.
Hello,
ready to talk
hello.
about WMN? Woo,
Yes,
woo.
ma'am. The floor is yours.
All right. Hey, for all of you listening, let's start with Women's Mortgage Network is new. It's refreshed. In a really great way. And we have invited 20 women, and a lot of those women reached up, and some other women I reached out to. And I'm going to go through it really quick, and I'm going to talk about the kind of standard of integrity for Women's Mortgage Network. New and improved, let's call it that way, in 25, 26. So all these women have stepped in for a 1-year commitment. We kind of collaborated and came up with different divisions of impact, because everybody's got a different sweet seat, right? So nobody wants to put me in a processing role. That's where I started, and I just would collapse. If anybody was in my CE class yesterday, I was on it, and I was having to stand up because I'm totally ADD. So I'm all about putting the right cheeks in the right seats and having people kind of let their souls sing with the right role for them, right? So I want to announce these women because I just want to go, woo, woo. Thank you so much for stepping up and vibing with us and getting in the mix. So I want to start with the first division of impact is Vibe and Voice. I have Molly Meeker, Nicole Ollis, and Tanya Werman in that group. Vibe and Voice is looking into PR relations, marketing, and ordering swag for events and things like that. We then have Engage and Elevate. We've got Amy Hewlett of Arrive. She's such a badass. Aria James, Nike Ojo. I hope I said her name right. She's just a light. I can't even believe it. And they are all about Engage and Elevate, which is social engagement, social media content, and things of that nature. Next is Connect and Cultivate with Christine Beckwith, Michelle Cretion, Samantha Shelton. Thank you so much. And that is membership connection opportunities, because we're going to grow. Next, we've got Impact and Influence. Impact and Influence is event planning. And I've got the best at the top, Christy Gray. Woo, woo. Not that she has any time. Melissa Rafai, thank you so much. And Nicole Foster. And then Profit and Purpose. That's super fun, you guys. That's budgeting and fundraising. And God bless you, Fannie Mae West. And Gabby Wartelli. Thank you, John, for letting her do this with us. Profit and purpose. She's a baddie. And then last but not least, process and presence. We can do nothing without process and presence. And the greatest of all, Jen Wilson and Katrina Carter are helping us just with the structure. And we're kind of interacting in these meetings and getting things done. But I think what we tried to do is get a bunch of different ladies from different genres, right? Different ethnicities and different voices to collaborate so that we can develop what you guys want to see. So that's where we're at. So we're putting on the WMN event. It is October 23rd. It starts at 12:30. Please be sharp. Please register for your ticket. All you need is a Fuse ticket. If you have not booked your flights, please, or if you have booked your flights and you're a female and you want to have some fun with us, can you please look and make sure that you're getting in on time? Because we're going to start sharply at 12:30. Listen, I went to that Forward event in your place, John. I want to say thank you so much because you couldn't make that ticket. I want to thank Neil Dingra Live because I looked at that event with a new lens, and I just happened to be there with Fannie Mae West and Melissa Rafai. Did not know they were going. And so we have a lot of sprinkles, AKA from Johnny Cupcake taught us this. A lot of sprinkles coming to the event. I'm not going to talk too much about the sprinkles because we want you to be surprised. We want you to have some elements where you're like, oh my gosh, they actually put some thought into this, because we have. And let me tell you, all these women have come with ideas over and over. And I'm excited because, nobody wants to hear the old broads ideas. I've been doing this way too long. So this is exciting to have just a collective group of women come together. We're going to have somebody on here in momentarily who's going to be gracing our stage as just somebody new in the AIME world. I'm excited to bring her in. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time because I'm blabbing. How are we on time?
Julie, you're good, and you have plenty of time. But I do have. I know it's a little impromptu, not planned.
Please,
if that's okay. You've mentioned it before, and we've talked about it before. But you talk about 2008 a lot, and you're very vulnerable, and you post about it, and you've talked about it publicly. So I'm not afraid to ask you about it. But that experience, and then where you're at today, you've said so many times where like the community and the people, and it was so different back then, where it's like you're just left out to dry. No one can help you. No one's willing to talk to you. No one's opening up any doors. And now you felt like the swing is so much different. Can you just talk about, for those that, because I didn't experience it either, just to be very upfront with you, but what was that like, especially being in the role that you're in at your capacity versus being in the role that you're in now at your capacity, and the differences?
It's a great question. I was 37 years old. I ran a mortgage brokerage at the time. I had 76 people, and my partner at the time kind of lost himself. He had a 4-week-old baby and decided he couldn't take the heat. We lost about $1.3 million worth of cash reserves, and all of our lines snapped in about 3 weeks. And we had 220 loans in process, and we just didn't know what to do. And I was pregnant through it. So here's the deal. What I've learned is I can take pressure. I almost said SHIT diamonds pretty soon. I can't go the amount of pressure I can take. There's something good that's going to come out the other side. But you know what? I'll tell you, it got to a place where I didn't know who I was without my title or without money. And I think that's just kind of a generational thing sometimes as we're growing up and getting more professional in business. And I lost everything. And I lost everything to the degree of where I was thinking, how do women get formula? I just didn't understand it. And I was kind of eyeing some things in Walgreens behind the counter. I mean, that's how I realized if I was homeless, I'd probably stake out at the airport and get some luggage. I mean, I really never thought like that. And once you lose everything, and I had been flying first class Virgin Atlantic, I knew what money was. I made a lot of it. But you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. It really was, because I realized who I am without all of that. In fact, if you look at my title where I work right now, I've got a president and a vice president in my company. I don't need that title because I just know what I'm great at. I'm great at growing. Director of growth was the best title to give me for AIME, because what I do is I just climb and grow. So I'm gritty little shit. I am. And I'll get in there and get in the weeds and get the job done. And I'm probably the last person that's going to be like, give me an award. It's just not my thing. I just know that it's the foundational success of the disciplines of the actions every day that get you the result. So I no longer live in the result. I live in the day to day. Like, how do I get the most joy out of today? And I can taste it now at this age because I've got 2 years left with my daughter at home. And you're at the front end, right? You're at the front end. So, and those are so special and sparkly moments. And then you get to this and you're like, ugh, and you have to just dig in and take those moments. So that's what's different. I'm not, I contribute because when I looked up in 2008, the one association, and it doesn't matter, we've come a long way and we learn now, but they were not present. They didn't know how to answer any questions. I had been rallying for them for 10 years. What's different about this industry and about AIME is we do connect. Like, I get on the phone with all these mortgage, it gets me just misty as hell. Because some of the women in this leadership team, they allow me to coach them in their business, and I can help them. How do you go from 0 to 10 people? How do you go from 20 to 60 people? How do you take your loan originations from 1 loan a month? I used to do 55 loans a month for over 10 years. How did I do that? There's discipline in that. It's not, and I'm going to say this vulnerably, it's not about the accolades or the merit in it. It really is just about learning the foundation. How do you have both? And as a woman, woo, it's very hard because you would never know this, but I'm very soft and demure at home.
Demure. Oh no.
And I cook. And I want to love on my man, and I want to be soft. I don't want to come home and make decisions, rah. I kind of do that out in the real world, right? So there's just, how do you do that? And I guess for me, the wisdom is in the failure. That failure for me, and every time I fail and can take a step back and get back to center, how quickly can we get back to center, right? To learn, how should I have done that? Shouldn't I have done that? How could I handle myself differently? Should I handle myself differently, right? It's just all, and personal development's my work. I'll continue to do it. I'll continue. And that's where you and I connected. I don't know if it was like a Tony Robbins something when we were getting on stage, but you pumped me up. I pumped you up. I think we were rattling. Our teeth were rattling. It's 3,000 people out there. Like, what the heck?
I remember it verbatim, actually, before we went up, and I talked about your whole experience and you went into detail with me, but I'll say one thing and then pass it back to you to introduce our next guest. As I've gone through my journey of leadership, I know I've screwed up. I know I have. I try to do what's best. And there's times where you drop the ball. It is what it is. But what I have learned about leadership is the best leaders also, when they need to be, are the best followers. And what I mean by that is this. I know there's times where I got to put my general hat on and I got to be a general. And I also know there's times where I got to be a soldier right now. And the thing I love about you is you have the ability to put the general hat on and the soldier hat on anytime. And the thing I love about our relationship is there are times where I go to you and I need to be the soldier. You're the general. And there are other times where you come my way and you're like, hey, I need you now, right? You're the general right now. I'm the soldier. And when you get to that place inside of a relationship, regardless of who that's with, that's the type of relationships that I love. Those are where you actually get things done. And I want to make sure people know that I would follow you through a brick wall. You're a hell of a general, and you're a hell of a general, and even a hell of a soldier. So you got both, and I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thanks for the vulnerability, and let's
Always.
keep failing forward together because there's no glass that we can just slide on to the end, by the way.
No, I wish.
We're lifing, right? We're lifing. It's just about being accountable for us. So beautiful. I love it. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Are we ready? Is it time?
We are ready.
I'm super excited. So I'm going to start with personally, I've fangirled over this woman. Oh gosh, probably I'm aging myself. 20 years of my career. She's a California girl. We have the privilege of bringing on Ms. Cindy Ertman, the powerhouse behind the defining difference. Cindy's been named one of the top 100 mortgage loan originators for over a decade and one of the top 100 most influential mortgage executives in America, 5 years running. She's built a $200 million production team. In fact, I think at one point she had $1 billion production team. And it's expanded, more than 20 thriving branches in the retail world. She actually started as well and had a very successful stint in the broker world. So she can see things through both lenses. Through her coaching, mortgage professionals are scaling to 7-figure successes, closing over $100 million in loans. I had the opportunity to attend one of her masterminds where I got to see it and taste it with my own experience, because I know who she is. I've known who she is, but I really got to walk the walk with her. You will find alongside me that she is somebody that we want to completely support and bring in for not only women, but men alike. And we'll talk about that here. So please, let's welcome Cindy Ertman to the stage. Welcome. Hello.
My gosh. Thank you, Julie, for such a warm welcome. And listening to your story, I just got chills all over my body because of what a rough season that was. We actually had to close our company during all of that. It was really, really a rough season. So I could feel you through the screen here, Julie. And I just have to say, it has been truly such a genuine personal gift as someone who's known you from afar for so long to be able to, really form a friendship with you. I have such mad respect for you as a leader, and I'm an energy person, so I just love your energy, and you exude this positivity even through rough seasons. And getting to know John, and we sort of bonded on the personal development side as well, which is where I think our greatest growth occurs. So I just want to say thank you. It's just a gift to be part of this community. I'm so excited about this upcoming Views and WMN event, and just really, really excited to support the participants and to support you in any way that I can.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you. I'm excited to bring you to the forefront. I think you're also great friends with Christine Beckwith,
Yes,
if I'm not
very
mistaken.
much so.
And over the years, she's like, Cindy. I'm like, I need to get with that Cindy. So I love that we can just make room, right? Because she's been a wonderful coach and been a leader of AIME for so long. And now she actually is making room to bring you in, and I'm making room to bring you in because you've got a lot to teach. I want to ask you something, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what I find so fascinating is your clients don't just grow a little by working with you. I mean, I know I was at that mastermind, but your clients like quadruple their growth by working with you. Can you tell me a couple maybe of the attributes of those clients, and maybe a couple of your successful strategies for those clients, for people who don't know you?
Well, I think when people get into coaching, and particularly the group that you attended, which was my high-level mastermind group, that was my reunion retreat that we do once a year. But I think the people that come into that group have already reached a certain level of success. Most of them have been in the business a fair number of years, and they've kind of gotten to a place where they're stuck. Like they haven't been able to push through that glass ceiling anymore, and they haven't been able to, and they call me typically and be like, I know what got me here isn't going to get me to the next level. And I'm really stuck. I don't know where to go next. And what I'm hearing a lot from many potential clients right now too, as well as my clients, are, hey, our referral partners, many have left the industry. They're doing a fraction of the business they used to do. I've been in the business a long time. How do I build new referral partnerships? And how do I reinvent myself in this new world? And that was one of the things in my mortgage career, and I'm sure we all experience this, is you come to work every January and you're like, oh boy, here we got to do it again, right? Can I gear up to do this again? And like, particularly if you're coming off a great year, and I had a few of those for sure, and you're like, gosh, I got to, but I would come into every year and I would do traditional business planning for our branch and my personal production business. But then I would sort of look at it and be like, how can I really create this year in a way that's going to reinvent myself and pour additional value into the people that I serve? So I think in coaching, mortgage professionals, I really do believe in the blending of tactical strategies that move the needle, and really getting people clear on what are their greatest strengths, what are their company's greatest strengths, what do we want to shine a brighter light on, and how to do that, how to really elevate you in a really big way through language and through getting clarity around what's most important to you, and then getting people clear on the value that they can bring to their partners. And when we get that clarity, these light bulb moments happen. And I think too, when people can get out of working in their business and get away from it and work on it, they leave with such a different level of clarity as to how they can build and grow. And the beauty of a mastermind group, as you know, is you're collaborating. And I love collaboration in our industry, because to be successful as a team sport, any way we slice it, we can't do it on our own. And it's a tougher business today. So to get new ideas and fresh ideas from the collaboration of others, and we're all sharing information as to ways to be successful. The number one thing that drives success really, though, is working on this first. It's mindset. It really starts there. One of my top producers that I coach, she'll hit over 200 million this year. And she said, I fully believe in my own business. It's 60% mindset and 40% skill. And I work on mindset every single morning. And that's how I start my day. And I do the same, because we're pouring into people all day long, and we got to bring our best self. So it's that integration of professional development skill set with really working on how do we keep this sharp and be able to show up as the best version of ourselves for our team and our clients and our referral partners, and keep that new and fresh and excited energy alive. Because Julie, you've gotten to know me pretty well, and I still have a passion and love for this business that permeates out of my cells, and I can't help myself.
Well, and by the way, just when you speak, everything in my nervous system relaxes. I mean, it makes me kind of misty because there's room for all of us. You know what I mean? I'm a little more scrappy, and I've always wanted to be graceful like you. I'm probably never going to match that because you are you, right? And I need to just be me, right? And that's a lesson. Like your presence in my life allows me not only to be fully seen, you're just so magical in who you are.
Thank you.
I also want to talk about you. What you touched on was kind of the doing of mortgage, but you're also so big on the being, right? Because I think that the different generations of women are like, if you say grind time to a young 30s, there's something in them that kind of switches, right? But you're very powerful in bringing that power of being. Can you speak to that a little bit in terms of the doing versus the being? And I'm also going to have you lean in a little bit in the woman's world on that, because that takes a lot, being a woman, right? And hosting a family and being moms. And I know you're big with the men. In fact, if I go back to the mastermind, you probably had, gosh, it was probably 50-50 with the amount of men and women.
About 50-50, 50% men and 50% women. And it's funny because every time someone goes, well, maybe you should just coach women, I'm like, but I get we've had such success for the men who haven't been exposed to some of the things that we teach. So that's been really, really cool to see men really transition from their thinking brain, really getting into their heart and connecting with people on a deeper level, which then explodes their business in a big way. So, but I love bringing gifts to both. And I think the differentiator for me, and I go back to the name of my company, because I did not name my company The Defining Difference. That name birthed itself to me, and I decided to just trust and not change it. But I spent a lot of time really thinking about, okay, what is the defining difference? Like, why was I given that name? Why was I asked to trademark that name? And it took me a while, and I'll get emotional if I start to talk about it too long. It was a process, but the reality is the defining difference is a choice. And the beauty is that when we don't like the way our life or business is going, when something is not working in our life, we have the ability to wake up tomorrow and make a different choice. So the whole premise of the defining difference is intentional choice. And I teach it at a very core level, because, you know, if your health is going in a negative direction, then we got to get really intentional about your health, and you've got to change your choices. It's all about choice management in terms of success. I was on the phone with a leader yesterday, an originator, but a successful leader. And he said yes to like 85 things. And suddenly he's drowning in all the things he said yes to. And he's focused on all the wrong activities, and his business is plummeting. And it's like, he's not making the right choices to build and grow the business, which is what he desires. So I really help people get clear on the choices they're making. And, you know, as an originator and as a leader, we have to focus on income and relational activities, because that's what moves the needle. So helping people really get clear as to how you're spending your time and what's serving you, you know, and what's serving you in the context of what you're doing. Is it serving your client base? Is it serving your referral partners? Is it serving your past clients? Is it serving your team? Because sometimes we just have to get intentional about the choices we make to move the needle.
I love that. I love that. I would also like to just tap into a little bit of your mind work, right? Like, so this is probably, when I look at my body as a whole, the most toned muscle in my body for certain. Sometimes I wish I could push it down a little bit into my body and my stomach. But tell me, what are some things that you do to keep your mind, as Mateen would say, your mind right? How do you do that?
Certainly, you know, we talk about morning practices, and I think that got drilled into my head through lots of coaches that I've had throughout the years as well. But I think when you start to develop that muscle, because anything is a muscle, right? We have to consistently do something, and, you know, then we fall off the wagon. We have to get back on the horse. But I do take an hour a day, every day. My team would tell you it's a non-negotiable hour. And when my kids were young, I raised 3 kids on top of all the craziness of running a $1 billion branch and being a $200 million originator. I had a lot on my plate, and family was terribly important to me. And I'm here to tell you that I raised 3 amazing humans and their adult children today, and they're the greatest joy of my life. But in terms of mindset, I think we all, like, it's a human condition that we all tell ourselves stories each and every day that just aren't true. And so we have conditioned our mind to believe that we aren't good enough. We're not working effectively enough. Where everything is we're not, instead of focusing on who do you want to become. So we really try to shift, like, really consciously the patterns of our thought, because it's really thought management. And that takes some time to shift that, but we've got to be intentional. My coach last year, I walk 3 times a week in the morning. And he would say, when you're on your walk, notice what you're noticing. And I thought that was so weird at first. I'm like, notice what you're noticing. Like, what thought are you carrying around in your head? What are you telling yourself at that moment? Notice it, because that's very telling. And one of the words that I hear a lot from my clients is, I heard it yesterday from someone you wouldn't expect, major national leader that I coach. And she goes, lately, I just feel like an imposter. We're talking about one of the nation's best, feels like an imposter. So if she feels like an imposter, imagine what the average originator. And Julie, when I launched my coaching and training company, I went into it consciously because I left as one of the nation's top producers to launch a coaching and training company. And I walked away from all those titles you were talking about. I walked away from the title of National Success Strategist and the hundreds of awards on my desk. And, and I knew I was going into this consciously, but I suddenly was a leader with no one to lead, and it messed with me. And I think we've got to determine, like, who do we want to become and how are we going to get there, and making those choices for who you want to become. And so the imposter syndrome is comparison, and we all have it. I've done it too. Because when I launched my company, I'm like, well, is anybody going to come? And, they're supporting Todd Duncan and the core and this and that and all the great people in the world. But the reality is, I just kept coming back every day. And we have to do this as originators and leaders, is I just made a decision that I want to be the best Cindy Ertman I could be. I just want to be the best version of myself. And that was the coaching I gave to my leader client yesterday, is let's get clear on what your strengths are. And let's just go deep on those. You don't have to, she mentioned 3 or 4 other leaders that are doing all these things on LinkedIn. And it's like, but that's not who you are. So let's just get clear on you, and let's help you shine the biggest bright on light on your strengths and elevate you for who you really are. And your business will take off like nobody's business. So that's what we
Wow. Well, way to drop the mic. By the way, I hope we can clip this up and slice it and dice it, Tommy, and get it out, because I want people to know you. I'm rallying for you. I just think that your voice will carry some grace and healing and growth and just deliciousness for both men and women alike. But we get to grace you, or we get you to grace us with your presence at Women's Mortgage Network. Thank you for saying yes to me when I asked. I'm so grateful to you. I'm excited to spend the time with you. There'll be some more surprises for Cindy at Fuse as well. Thank you for joining us today. I think we're going to do maybe a variable income class, if I'm not mistaken, now with John Haddad. So we're going to hand it back to John and bring him back in, and I will be speaking to more. And I'm excited. I'm excited for our future with you with AIME. Thank you so much for.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thanks, John.
Thank you. That was awesome. I texted Julie. I texted you on the side, natural of both you, and just hearing the stories of vulnerability, what you guys went through. It was really unique to hear that. We don't get to hear a lot of that stuff, and the perspective is real. It's hard to remember what you deal with from the past. And so every once in a while, when you sit down and reflect and it comes from the heart, you feel it. So I hope you guys felt it. I felt it for sure. Appreciate you ladies sharing the journey, the trials, the tribulations, and the success. Some of the numbers Cindy was throwing out there. She's like, yeah, when I was running the branch, $1 billion. It's just so, like, it just comes off the top of her tongue because it was just normal for them. It was just normal for her. That's how elite she is. That's how dialed in she is. So just to hear those numbers being thrown out there, that's a big deal. Those are some big, big numbers. And so we appreciate you. If you haven't connected with her, I highly recommend it. With that being said, I'm in the trenches every single day. And we had a clip not long ago that we did on our podcast, the Broker Power Up with Tommy and myself. And I talked about variable income. And we're seeing it more and more and more. And I've seen people comment on it. They've asked me questions. I've had people reach out. So today, I'm going to go ahead and do a training with you on variable income. This is a loan that we actually wrote. So this is a client where underwriters pushed back. It's a real scenario, real pay stubs. I had to redact a couple things, obviously. But this loan was going to be denied out. Underwriters actually denied the loan out initially. And then we came back and said, hey, we disagree. And here's how. So why do I bring this up to you? Reason I bring it up to you is there's been situations where I'm sure you've gone in, they've come back as variable income, and you've said to yourself, I feel like there's a solution, but I can't figure out what the solution is. Then what happens? Let's just be real. You get pissed, you get frustrated, you call the underwriter, you're screaming at the underwriter, you're screaming at the team leader, you're telling people like, this isn't going to work, you suck, and all this stuff that is not proactive. You're being reactive or being emotional. And by the way, I get the emotion. I'm also aware that it's easier for me and for you to look at somebody else's loan versus your own loan. When the emotions run too high, it's hard to make those decisions. So variable income is something that's been brought up more and more over the last, I would say, roughly 24 months, about 2 years. So what is it? Here's variable income in a nutshell. Client says, I get paid hourly. We get the pay stubs for the hourly rate. We look at the pay stubs. We look at the client's year-to-date income. We see their hourly rate, and their year-to-date income does not reflect what their hourly rate is at where they should be on a monthly basis. So just to give you a perfect example for that and using some easy numbers, if a client is paid $20 an hour, you would multiply that number times 40. That's 40 hours in a week. And then you would multiply that by 52 weeks in a year. That would indicate that your consumer needs to be on pace to make $41,600 for the year. And so if you divide that number by 12, that correlates to $3,466 on any given month. So that means if you're 6 months in, so if you have a pay stub all the way through June, your client needs to be on pace or close to being at $20,800 of base income. That would mean that their $20 an hour is correct when it comes to actually, hey, they are on pace to make this amount. They do get 40 hours a week. They do get $20 an hour, where at the end of June, 6 total months have gone by. They're on pace to make that number. So you don't have a variable income issue. Now, if at 6 months, that number is supposed to be $20,800, but you're at $16,000, that's a red flag. Now it's what's going on right now. What happens next? So some of the lenders, most lenders have a variance. That variance of what's allowable is between 5 and 10%. So for every $100 of income, you have basically $5 to $10 to work with when it comes to wiggle room. So what do you actually need? What do you need? What you need up front is simple to do this calculation. I need the most recent year-to-date pay stub. On top of the W-2s, don't worry about all of that. Standard is regular. You also need your year-end 2024 pay stub, the most recent one from 2024, so you can get the most income possible. And you also need the year-end pay stub for 2023. So here is our real scenario that you are looking at right here. Here's our client. So what do you have to do? The first thing is each pay stub, I'm going to break everything down. I'm going to break it down by base pay, overtime, bonus, commission, and other income. So here's where a lot of people make mistakes. Base pay is not just what you see on here. What you see on here is regular pay. I know it says salary. Client was not absolutely hourly, unfortunately, in this situation. So you see it says regular pay. That's not the only base pay. You can also look at things such as personal day, paid family leave. You start to dial into all of these, a floating holiday, a regular holiday. These are all included as the base pay. So I got to add all this stuff up and then make my base pay separate. And so if I have a question, if I think one might be base pay, then you got to get a written verification. That's a separate conversation, but usually it's pretty easy to address. So number one, base pay. Base pay is not just regular pay. It's not just hourly rate. It's holidays. It's paid time off. It's all of those little things that you see on a pay stub you add to your base pay. Next, break down the overtime separately, break down the commission separately. And then if there's some things that are other, such as per diem interest, reimbursements, put that in the other column. Yes, I am old school. I do it. I write it out. That's just a personal preference. You can put it in Excel, put it in the notes, whatever the case is that you want to do. You're going to do this for your year-to-date pay stub. You're going to do this for your year-end pay stub of 2024. You're going to do this for your year-end pay stub of 2023. You're going to break it out perfectly. Now, articulating yourself to the underwriter, my friends, this is a real email that we sent out, and I want to read it to you out loud. There's a lot of context here, but it's not that difficult when you start trying. Break out all you need. Again, year-to-date pay stub, year-end 2024, year-end pay stub 2023. You break it down by base pay, overtime, bonus, commission, and other if you need it. In this specific loan, we had the loan suspended, and my loan officer and myself, we felt like we had a lot of wiggle room here. And so we made the argument, and here's the argument that we made. Hello, team. We have some discrepancies here. Going to break this down the best I can. We don't even want to use the overtime income. So I always try to be conservative first. Can I make this work without asking the underwriters or the lender to use all this extra income? Let's just use the hourly rate. That's what I'm trying to get to. I break it down. I said client made $21 an hour in 2024. The year-end pay stub that we have ended 12/14/2024. We're still missing 2 weeks of pay that I don't even need to use this. What the client should have made, based on the client's $21 an hour, we took 21 times 52 weeks times 40 hours a week. They should be making $43,680 for all the entire year of 2024. The pay stub that I had when I broke down the pay, and I didn't just look at base pay, was $41,406.12. And here's what the underwriter missed. So if you look, the base pay for the client was only $36,868, meaning that it was off roughly $7,000 on the $43,000 that the underwriter anticipated it to be. But when we add all the other extra things, I add the holiday pay for $1,500. We add the paid time off for $2,800. We add the cultural celebration for $168. And then my argument was, can you add back the 2 weeks that are missing on this pay stub? You can clearly add this back. Client worked for those 2 weeks. We're barely off. When I broke that logic down, it was very easy for the underwriter to see that they were on pace in 2024 for the base pay. They weren't off. Now, here's where we got really creative. In 2025, our client actually received a $1.49 raise, which means that base pay number is going to now look different. And as we broke down the base pay for this year, we do it line by line. Here's the client's new rate. $22.49 times 52 weeks times 40 hours means that the client this year, 2025, needs to be on pace to make $46,779.20. Based on where this loan was at, the pay period ended June 28th. So the 6 total months that we had, client has already made $23,042 in base pay. So I broke all of this down for the underwriter. We went line by line. We explained where they're at. We helped pull more base income. We said, hey, I think we missed this. I think we missed this. I think we missed this. I said, the client is on pace to be within 1.5% of what she needs to be making. Are you, as the lender, considering this variable income? And if we have zero wiggle room, we're good. We understand, and we will move the loan accordingly. That's not me saying we're going to strip the loan. Don't be aggressive. Be very cautious with how you say that stuff. You don't want to kill locks. It hurts the relationship. It hurts the lender you're using. I don't want to move the loan. But hey, if we have to, we have to. And so I tried to make my argument. So then I say, thank you, team. Here's the part that a lot of loan officers miss, okay? We are not perfect. And if you think you are, come on, stop. Thank you, team. Please let us know if we are missing something. I am aware we are not perfect. We just feel strongly on this one. Even if you as the lender are not going to budge, we understand. We would just like to know. That's okay. I know we're not perfect. If I'm not looking at it right, if you have a different angle, if I missed something, if maybe there's a garnishment, you have to remove wages and I missed it. Whatever it is, I'm basically saying, hey, there's a small window, if I'm not right, for you to come back, and I'm opening up the dialogue. I'm not shutting it down and saying, underwriter, you're wrong. I'm saying, hey, we feel strongly. That doesn't mean that I know everything. There could be something missed, but now I'm articulating myself. And then voila, would you know it? The next morning, hi, thanks for the detailed response on this. My boss and I discussed and will be okay to use the base pay calculation on this. That would put the base income at $3,898.27 a month. The OT income stands at $22.20 per month. We got it. We didn't have to move the loan. We didn't have to yell at underwriters. We didn't have to scream at anybody. We had to just articulate ourselves and break it down and just show our math. Don't always be frustrated. We have to show you, well, your underwriter should know how to do it. Look, that could be true, but you know what's even better? You should know how to do it. You should know how to do it. You're the one that gets paid the most on the loan. So why not learn how the calculation works? Why not learn how to show your work? Look, I get it. We got ChatGPT. We got all these resources now. But look, when I was in school, I never forget. Never forget. You're going through. You're doing math. Show your work. Show us how you got there. Every once in a while, you got to do that. And don't be afraid to do it. You don't want the loan to be denied out, but you also don't want to move the loan if you don't have to. Put in the extra work. Give yourself the extra opportunity. And I wanted to share this one with the community. It was a huge, huge win for us. And there's a lot of chances for you to continue to propel yourself forward and improve your craft. Part of it is learning how to do income. I've spent many years learning income, worked with pretty much just had to work with a lot of the heavy investors back in the day. So income is right up my alley. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And there's opportunities for you to help your consumers. Just do it the right way. Articulate yourself the right way. Don't burn bridges. Please don't. You and the underwriter have a common ground. So that is our Community Pulse. We're here to continue to give you back love, give you back support, teach you how to improve your business, tell you incredible stories about the future, help protect you in the future, and just make you cognizant about what's coming next. We appreciate you all. We're grateful for everything. We got a lot more to do. Be ready for Fuse. This thing is on pace to sell out, is what it looks like right now. And we're earlier than ever. We cannot wait to help propel you forward when it comes to your